in relation to this comment, he's saying hopefully Mason comes back, deserves a shot at QB1. Now with this new information out there and what Tomlin said, how do you think that affects Mason's willingness to come back? It doesn't help. It obviously doesn't help.
Yeah, it doesn't help. But I don't. I'll say this to you.
It doesn't hurt though either because he did say competition.
Is there anything that would have surprised you with what Coach T said though, surrounding the situation?
No, I think he handled it.
You know what I mean?
Very properly.
It's like, yeah, I could see if Mason were to feel this type of way that, oh, how you gonna just flat out say he's the guy coming into it? But when you really think about it, even based off what TG was saying yesterday, they have more invested in Kenny right now. So Kenny definitely has to get an opportunity. We talk about the OC. I'm sure Kenny is going to be a thought process in it. You know what I mean? I don't know how much he's going to be involved, but I'm sure they're going to look and see, man, does this at least fit what we currently have in-house?
Yeah, asking the OC, what's your opinion on Kenny? What's your opinion on Mason?
So it's like, I'm sure for Mason, he kind of knows that, yo, I was going to have to still overcome that part of it just because he's the first rounder and I'm the third rounder from further along. So you still going to have certain ground that you got to cover, but I still think the money is going to dictate it. But I don't know, hearing him say it, it did kind of make me feel like, man, maybe they're not going to be as high on him in terms of like Mason trying to bring him back if they already is like willing to just be like, yo, yeah, Kenny going to be the guy this offseason. I'm just like, yo, I don't know.
I feel like Mason's going to be presented the same scenario, though, with other teams.
Yes.
You're not going to be QB1 or given the edge at QB1, but you'll be able to compete for QB1.
Yeah. And then where do you trust?
So where do you want to do that? Yeah. So where do you want to do that? Here?
Yeah. Who do you trust is going to actually give you a fair shot at it, whether we talking the compensation part or
the thing you got to worry about, too, at least here, I think what makes it appealing to Mason here is I don't think we're drafting a quarterback high. If we're sticking with Kenny and we bring back Mason.
Oh, if we bring back Mason, yes. If we don't bring back Mason, that all changes.
Right.
But Mason is going to be probably more of a priority than the draft.
That's what I think, too.
I would agree with you there.
So if he does come here, he's not going to have to worry about someone else popping up and seriously competing.
A new guy, yeah.
Whereas, let's say you go to the Falcons, you think you could beat out Ritter.
Mm-hmm. And then they draft somebody.
But they very well might take a Jaden Daniels or someone in the top 10.
I only think that becomes a negative if he settled on a lesser deal. I think if he ends up going somewhere else and the money is appropriate, I don't think that's as big of a concern because you're like, yo, I still know that the money that you sent me at least lets me know I can compete for this season. This dude that you just drafted might be your long-term answer. No different when we brought in Mitch Trubisky, drafted Kenny. Mitch just started slow. Kenny had the fan base behind him.
It just might be a shorter leash.
Yeah, but it could definitely be a scenario like that, though. Because for Mitch, he still was compensated a lot more coming here than he was his final year in Buffalo.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, we're paying you franchise starter money, but if you were to start, this is still going to be straight for you and your situation. And we got the ability in a year or two to tear the deal up, re it up, and, go from there.
Right.
Yeah. But it goes back to what you said, though, man. Who we trust? Does Mason trust our organization versus...
I think it just comes down to, do you trust they're going to give him a fair shot to compete against Kenny?
Yeah.
Or do you think there's a bigger biasness towards Kenny and you're not going to get the fair shake? That's what you got to weigh. Versus, going to another team, worry about who they might draft or what other moves they might make.
Deke,
because free agency becomes it happens before the draft.
Deke, if you're Mason, you just go back to your history of all the Mason stuff that's happened to Mason. We just like, yo, that's a Mason thing. If it would happen to anybody, it would happen to Mason. What's your thought process? What's your trust level here? Versus if you had to take the field. And we'll just leave it as field because we don't know what teams those are just yet, but we just...
Yeah, right now I'd say Steelers.
Okay.
I think you got to see how the landscape plays out, though.
Yeah.
Right now I'm saying Steelers.
Okay.
What teams are we bringing up?
Yesterday we talked Atlanta. We talked Baker's in Tampa, but we was obviously like, if he leaves, then that opens up. But if he stays, then that's not a spot. New England potentially. Minnesota, we said, was another one.
Right.
Tennessee, potentially.
Yeah, Tennessee.
Yeah.
One. Tennessee.
Because that's 4 right there that we just dropped. What is New Orleans' situation? How many years is... Because I don't know how many years they got left down there. I know Jameis is in the hot
Carr,
seat down there too. They probably
Carr
gonna bring him
signed a
back.
multi-year deal. I don't
Okay.
know how easy they could get out of it though,
Gotcha.
or if they are looking to get out of it.
Gotcha.
Patriots, they're gonna be drafting 3. I'd assume they take a quarterback. Commanders at 2, they take a quarterback. Broncos.
I mean, we've just named 7 teams right there though, potentially. Because obviously we know those are going to the draft.
If I'm Mason, I don't think I want to go to the scenario where the team drafts a guy in the top 10.
If it's a top 10 pick, he's the starter. There is no conversation. That guy's started.
But even if they did what we did in Kenny's rookie year and start off with the veteran, I think it's going to be a real short leash.
Yeah, but remember, Kenny wasn't a top 10 pick, bro.
Yeah.
When's
the last time they sat? Fields sat, I think, a little bit in his rookie year to start off. He was, the 8th or 9th pick.
Yeah.
Trey Lance, I mean, I guess it depends on the scenario.
Yeah.
Trey Lance sat the whole year. He was the 3 pick.
Yeah,
I don't think these guys are sitting there. I don't think any of them are like projects. You want to see them off the bat. I think they're all.
And Trey had a unique situation with the whole COVID year, sitting out and all that. Yeah.
Mac Jones started right away. I'm just thinking of that draft. Zach Wilson sat out a couple games, but he ended up playing. Like,
I mean, a lot of the dudes started early
season.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Philly? Nah.
I think I'd lean us right now. I just need to see how the rest of the offseason plays out.
Okay.
Because maybe you go in thinking that it's tough. Because Kenny could play good next year. Like
that's
Kenny
the whole
could
issue. Yeah,
win the job and play good legitimately. Like I could see that scenario playing out. But Kenny could also get hurt or have more of what he did in 2023 happen in 2024.
Well, and even with you saying that you could see a scenario, or if the scenario did play out where Kenny plays better, I wonder how much of that thought process goes into the Steelers when they're negotiating with Mason.
How about this? Wink, wink. If, Mason doesn't start week 1, Kenny's playing good. You know how quarterbacks go down.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a wink, wink part of the deal where Steelers say, we'll do right by you, trade deadline. If a team needs a starter mid-season, we'll make the trade.
My only issue is the same, how allegedly reports were that somebody was told that they would be starting ahead of time or potentially get an opportunity. And then if something doesn't happen or if something changes, now you deal with a person feeling like they've been lied to. I actually was in one of them situations. We seen the one dude get upset about however they played out, even when we kind of understood. It's like, bro, that dude is killing. So it's like, yo, he's going to be out there.
You talking about Pickett Mason? End of the season?
I'm talking Pickett Mason. I'm also talking when Debo was here, because that was another part of it where he was told one thing prior to the season starting, but the new information was TJ Watt's kicking butt, bro. Yeah. He ain't want the information. He felt he was lied to. And that's the part where, for me, I'm just kind of like, man, whenever we start having them week or them, brother-in-law handshake deals, man, can he come in here cooking, or can he get hurt at the wrong time? And they like, yeah, we were going to do it, but now we're going to hold you now. Just because it's more convenient for us than it is for you, per se. Now you got this player feeling like, yo, you done wronged me.
Yeah, I get that.
And we going to be over here like, nah, bro, it's just business. Stop tripping. But that's the only thing I ain't like about it, bro.
Right. Yeah, it's just all about how much you trust us.
I ain't gonna lie, bro.
From multiple angles, because what I just brought up could be a part of it. Also, the fair shake at the competition could be a part of it.
If I base it, bro, just full transparency, what I heard Coach T watched him, I felt like if I base it, my trust went down. It's just like, I was like, I ain't really like that. It was a bump up for Kenny, but if I'm Mason, I'm like, I ain't want to hear that, bro. Because
what are you leaning then right now?
For Mason, I tell you, from Mason's perspective, man, I'm playing the field. I'm trying to see who's my dance partner out here that's either going to give me what I'm looking for, or is going to force Pittsburgh to give me what I'm looking for. Because I've already been in bed with them. I've already tried to negotiate with them multiple times. And I've seen how I've been treated multiple times. Regardless of how valid or invalid it was, it just personally hasn't went Mason's way, right? So now that he finally gets the chance to feel like he's, the hot commodity this offseason, at least the hottest that he's been professionally, you kind of owe it to yourself to at least see what these other people like, because clearly y'all had me for how many years I've been in this league now, and y'all never thought I was a baddie. Y'all never thought that I was good enough to go ahead and pay me competition QB money, even discuss me potentially getting a role to flirt with it. It was like, nah, y'all drafting dudes, signing dudes, and I've always been the forgotten person. So I'm not going to just forget all of that and just blindly trust you again when you've given me zero reason. And even when I've delivered on 3 straight occasions and got us into the postseason, or a large part of why we were in the postseason, and played pretty well in this game, your response is, bro, that's our guy this offseason, or he's started. It's like, yo, you still want me, which is still good. I did want to hear that I'm wanted, but it's like, dang, bro, how you already just feeling like he's locked in? You ain't seen him in over a month. You've never seen him in a playoff game.
Now, Coach T was smart about that press.
He was very smart, though. He was very smart.
You're right. Kenny is
smart,
the only guy on the roster. So for him to come out and say it's an open competition between Kenny and Mason, it's like Mason ain't even on the team.
And that's why I was like, he was very strategic with his words, bro.
Maybe it is more open than Tomlin's leading on right now. It's just the timing of all of it.
Because when I first saw, I was like, yo, he's not on the roster. So technically, he is right. Technically, the starter is Kenny, because it's Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky are the only guys under contract for 2024 right now. Mason contract ends in March. So, yes. I'm like, yeah, technically, you're right.
It's going to be about those conversations that happen behind the scenes that we don't know about.
Yeah.
And then we'll finally get a better gist of it once the OTAs come around and seeing how the reps are distributed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it's even reps for QB1, Kenny and Mason, then maybe it's more open than Tomlin's leading on right now. But, we won't know that until, we sign Mason, and then camps and that type of stuff rolls around.
And SD Ninja 619, he had asked if Mason has addressed his free agency through the media just yet. Nothing that I've seen concrete or anything like that.
No, he's just saying, I like it here in Pittsburgh. I've been here 6 years.
Yeah.
That's really it.
It was all things considered, it's a positive, right? Because he could have been flat out like, bro, I'm ready to go. I'm tired of being here.
He was like, it's out of my control.
All right. So essentially, he's letting you know, for the right number, it could work. But it's also out of his control, meaning, hey, if that number ain't right, don't look at me. That's on there. It wasn't my control. Just fair. I respect it.
Maybe at the time he was saying it too, if he doesn't know if the Steelers want me back or not. But now, clearly, Steelers do want him back. Yeah. That message was sent.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I wonder how it will go, because he could wait and play the market, but don't the Steelers, at time, whenever players do play the market, they'll stop the negotiations?
So this is how the Steelers will do it. He will get an opportunity to discuss with other teams during the legal tampering period. If he hasn't signed his deal with the Steelers and they haven't got a deal done, he'll get to talk to teams, like I said, in that legal tampering period. And the Steelers will still be open to negotiating with him. They will still be fully committed to him as a priority on their "we want to re-sign you" sheet. Once free agency officially opens, though, whatever day it is, it was like March 23rd or whatever day, like the official first day of the new league year is, once that happens, if Mason has not re-signed, they no longer look at him as, bro, we feel like you're going to still be here. That's when they turn their focus to outside, because to them, they're saying, bro, you're technically really not with us, and what is stopping you from going anywhere now? So we've had all this time to negotiate with you on the front end, and it didn't work, right? So now you about to try to take whatever and try to hit us. It's like, nah, man, you had that little bit of time right here doing that phrase. All right. These are the priorities. Now, if we lose all of these guys, it might come back to you, and it might work out.
Terrell Edmonds.
Yeah, but once you hit that market, man, these are our priorities right now, man. And that's just how they tell you. That's how it was communicated with me when I signed my nice deal here. It's like, look, man, you can fight for this extra money, and that's fine. You know, we're going to get every little bit we're going to get. But it's like, yo, once you decide that you're going to take this negotiation that extra day, that's how the convo goes. And like I said, that wasn't just me. That's with, all my guys that have been in these scenarios with the Pittsburgh Steelers in terms of unrestricted free agency, because that's specific. We're talking about unrestricted.
That was you with Khan too, because I was
correct. That was with Omar
Khan.
Yeah,
from Colbert to Khan, but I'm assuming he's doing it the same way. Then, if you were dealing with him directly anyway at the time, now he's the head guy. It's probably the same.
Yep.